Okay, I was looking. What's that?
I just started the recording.
Okay. I was looking at the standard Chovos haLevavos, and I realized, maybe it's a little bit late down the line how much Rav Miller adds. That's not.
Well, the translation is really separate, right? Not really
Yeah, but the mashal we were learning last time, where he says the difference between a boiteach is that whatever he has extra from his money, the words are boiteach b'lekim kshivatel le'davar al mezoinoi yotzien b'masha mafik rotzen habaris barach b'nedivas nafshe v'tuv leva. Which simply translates, and that's the way they translate it. If you look in the Leiv Tov, it means that someone who's boiteach on Hashem, whatever he has extra, will use it for Ritzayin Hashem. Right? To give tzedakah, to do all kind of things. Rav Miller put in that whole thing about you have to be responsible about your money and you can't you got to invest it, you have to anticipate the future. That's not the Chovos haLevavos. That's Rav Miller speaking. But like now I realize how much is not the Chovos haLevavos, but Rav Miller speaking all along the line, which is fine. I don't have anything from Rav Miller. It's just yesterday I was grappling with, like I didn't see it in the words at all, and now I realize that was his,
it's
part
not
of
in the
what
words. It's not in the words at all.
Not in the words, but like that's what he looks at it, Ritzayin Hashem. So in his mind, Ritzayin Hashem also means making sure that you're responsible about your money, and Okay, so now we have the Chamishi on page 4.
Sorry, Rabbi. Sorry to interject. But with regard to like investing and worrying about tomorrow, I mean, the Chofetz Chaim speaks about that also, about how one maybe shows a lack of emunah by doing that.
Listen, Chofetz Chaim is predated by many people. We spoke yesterday that the big rebbes would, not go to sleep if they had money in their pocket. The Gemara says, someone who worries about tomorrow is what is it called? Chasrei emunah or something.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Rav Ganosky pointed out that there is a truth for a Moshe that's okay to take life insurance. It's not called the lack of bitachon. So it's a narrow path. Kol ayom kulei gesher tzar moed.
The life insurance. I mean, sorry, the life insurance thing. It's fine for me to work on my emunah. I have no right to work on my kids or wife's emunah.
All right, that's not his. From what I remember, that wasn't his reason. His reason was that it's an accepted. It's like hishtadlus, like any hishtadlus you do. In our times, in our culture, it's part of the hishtadlus is to take out life insurance, just like you get a job. Am I right, Reganovsky? Is that basically?
Yeah. You're thinking just like you have a job. It's the way he said it. But you're really right. It's like that idea. It's like something that everybody does, right?
Right. Shlomo today.
Sorry, Rabbi Granovsky, that's jumping to conclusions.
Someone pointed out yesterday.
Except every rule.
Someone pointed out yesterday that in many schools today in America, they're putting together these type of funds because there's been some experiences where someone dies and then it falls on the community to start making these big collections. So they make these type of life insurance policies for their rabbeim. And here in Eretz Yisrael, the Gedolim set up this thing called Arivim, where you pay in 70 shekel something a month, and chas v'shalom, something happens, so they worked with the numbers that there's a certain amount of people in the group, and all putting that in, and according to the actuaries or whatever, worked out that there will be money if chas v'shalom needed. So I don't think that's called the Gedolim set it up. I remember when it was set up, everyone signed on it. So I don't know if it's a lack of emunah. And then you're right. I'm not arguing with what you're saying. I'm not arguing, We said the whole lesson of the month was for 40 years. You had no food when you went to sleep. You had to have emunah. Tomorrow there'll be food. So in any case, we've seen a few times that Rav Miller, pushes very much being a responsible person and He wrote yesterday, give the appropriate MISA and put away what you'll need to cover anticipated future expenses. That which you save should be prudently invested, but you are acting as Hashem's treasurer. Right? He's looking at it. Hashem gave you the money, now use it correctly. The Chovos haLevavos seems to be saying use it correctly means do mitzvahs with it. But Rav Miller hears in those words also, be responsible about the money you're getting.
It doesn't mean don't use your mitzvahs, it means also be responsible.
It's not put right. Look, Shlomo, you also know the Chazal say you're not allowed to give more than 20% of your mice unless you're extremely wealthy, right? Because you might become poor. What do you mean? Where's my bitachon? I'm doing mitzvahs. There's poor people. They need stock. I'm giving all my money away. Tomorrow Hashem will give me more. It's already Takonos Chazal and Gemara. So that's why I keep on saying, Rav Nachman's song Shlomo Kohen Kula Geshet Tzarmod. The narrow bridge, but there's a right and a left to that bridge, and you gotta tread carefully, not to fall off. Yes, Amuna, too much ishtadlus. It's a challenge. But to me, I just brought this up because I realized suddenly that we're learning it with the parish of Rav Miller. But the words could be understood, straight. Okay, Chamishi. We're doing the 7 differences when it comes to our parnasa, the money we get, the difference between a Baal Boiteach and someone who's not Baal Boiteach. Even though superficially it may look the same, but a lot has to do with what you're thinking. And here he says, someone who's Boiteach and Hashem, he's busy with the things in this world, to prepare for him, for the next world. Supply his needs at his final destination. Base Maya the Kochai. Umashi is borrowed by Hatzolas Terosai. And whatever becomes clear to him as not interfering with his Torah and his Torah life, in choosing a means of livelihood, he writes here. You engage in only that which is clear to him as not interfering with his Torah studies in his life. Even if it's ordinary work, he does it with the intention of preparing for the world to come. So whatever is detrimental to his Torah observance, or maybe the Hamre Sabar, or brings him to rebel against Hashem, he doesn't engage in it. For example, if he's given a job opportunity to work in a store where they dispense immoral videos, he turned it down. He would rather be a street cleaner or a sanitation worker than go against the will of Hashem. He does not want to bring himself spiritual pain instead of healing by engaging in a livelihood that interferes with his expectations of life in the world to come. So Boiteach Hashem lives this world with Kol Magamosei, right? Was Messiah Shem start that first famous line? Mayosim Magamosei, right? But what's his goal? Yeah, whatever he does, what's his goal? Everything is focused there, and if it doesn't fit the focus, then it's not. You don't do it, right? So if the job proposal is in any way counter to Ritzayin Hashem, you just don't take it. And that's how he lives his life. That everything is all his parnos and everything has is being used towards preparing for the next world. This means that whenever he has time to spare, he invests in improving himself by acquiring more knowledge of Hashem, more halachas, more Torah knowledge. He could set aside time for acts of kindness to help his fellow man. Okay, again, this is Rav Miller took, right? In the Sefer, he seems to be saying he uses that parnosa, that money he has. It's not for the now. The trusting person utilizes his livelihood to serve Hashem. This may have an effect on what kind of work he does. He looks for a livelihood that will put him in the best possible environment and tries as much as possible to avoid the company of immoral and unethical people. Even when he's working, the trusting person is utilizing his work for Olam Haba. So it says, even if he's a computer programmer or a druggist, even if he works, he's thinking, I'm not working merely for myself. I'm serving Hashem by doing these things. This, the Chofetz Chaim is quoted in saying, I can't say I ever saw it, but that if a doctor has kavana, that he's doing this for chesed, so then it's all chesed, even though he's getting paid for it. And if the druggist, like he says, any job you do, you're serving the public. If you view it as a job and this is just a way of me making money, so then that's what it is. But if you have intention that you're doing with Zayin Hashem, Rav Miller would say with Zayin Hashem because you're working for a parnasa, to support your family, but with Zayin Hashem to help people. You're the checkout lady at the counter of a supermarket, right? And you do it, and you're thinking, I'm helping people. I'm doing chesed. I'm helping people. You put on a nice smile. You're pleasant to the people. Then everything you're doing is a mitzvah. That's what he's saying here. So when he hands a loaf of bread to a customer, his hand's like an agent of Hashem. Pasuk says, now you're doing it. Same things if you sell any other kind of foods. You're selling clothing. The fact that he gets paid for it doesn't interfere with his idealism. He's doing Hashem. Like, it's an important yesod. It's an important yesod because you can live your whole life and you're doing Ritzayin Hashem and you're doing mitzvahs in the most mundane type of things. And you can do the exact same thing. If you have two videos, you would see the exact same thing. It would be a clone. So it all depends on the Chovos haLevavos, what's in your mind, what's your intentions. You're doing it because you always wanted to be a doctor, you want to be famous, you want to make a lot of money, or you want to help people. Yeah, you're a fruit man, you're selling fruit store. You're selling fruits and vegetables. You're selling suits. If he's a medical man, he's healing people. Even when you're healing non-Jews, he's doing what Hashem wants to do. If he's banging on the keys of a computer, he's doing it because Hashem said, go ahead and do it. If he's a plumber working for a non-Jew as he's lying under the sink, repairing a link, he's thinking, I'm serving Hashem. Now remember, because he also said one of his biggest idols early on was doing his shtadlus is not like we generally understand from Siyas Yesharim that that's part of the klala to Adam Arisha, but it was Ritzayin Hashem, like the Sheves Bara, that Hashem wants the world to be developed, Hashem wants the world to go, and he wants us to do it. It has nothing to do with our parnasi, he said. It's like Ritzayin Hashem, that we should develop the world. So everything I'm doing that's making the world better, even physically, if I have the kavanah that I'm doing what Hashem was mitzvah me, and I'm doing Ritzayin Hashem. You should work for 6 days. If you have that frame of mind, your entire life is nothing but one long career of preparing for the world to come. This is as it says, that you may gather in your grain. Don't expect to wait for the grain to walk into your granary. You have to go out with a sickle and cut it. And all of that work is appropriate because Hashem said that you should gather your grain. Don't hang around in your house and wait for somebody to help you. No, take the job and make a living. That's your service to Hashem. Okay, but a big yesod, right? I mean, because we all do things and we all work, and it's all depending on what we're thinking. I think we've talked about it already. The famous thing about filling up the washing cup for the next guy, right? The Saravelli Laprian was the one who came up with that to fill for the next guy. And what I understand, the idea was, if you fill it for yourself, you're just filling up a cup of water. But if you fill it for the next guy, you're doing a mitzvah. So if each person fills it for the next guy, then everyone's doing a mitzvah. I now heard from the Chofetz Chaim also. If 2 people need a chair, and they both go get chairs, so they're both schleppers. But if each person goes and gets a chair for the other guy, he's doing a mitzvah, he's doing chesed to help the other guy, the same movement. Right? The 2 chairs will stay there, the 2 people are there. It's all in the mind. Very big yesod. right? And he says the Baal B'Teach, that's how he lives his life. Umashi's barloi by Hatzolas Terose whatever is clarified to him that it's for the Tachas of Olam Haba, Misasek place. He does it. And the choices you make, this is not a choice I can make because I know that there's Mechshelim there. I can't take that job. He continues, he says, the person who's not Beiteach al-Asiba. So his focus, he puts his trust in the worldly means, right? He's Beiteach al-Asiba on the causes. That's where he's focused. He's not focused on the next world, he's focused on this world. What's going to get me what I need in this world? Puts his trust in the worldly means for his health, his livelihood, his other needs. He relies on them. He won't refrain from engaging in any of them, even if it's not according to the Torah, even if there's a Surim involved. He's not B'Teich on Hashem, so he puts his bitachon on his hishtadlus, on what he's doing. This is what's going to bring me money, and that's where my focus is. I'm not thinking about the next world, so I'll do anything. I'll engage in all kinds of means, whether they're praiseworthy or they're reprehensible. He doesn't think about their effect on the ultimate outcome of his life. He'll even work on Shabbos because he sees it, because as he sees it, it's his work that gives him a livelihood, not Hashem. Because he doesn't have bitachon. If he has bitachon, he knows, as we said so many times, what I do is only a hishtadlus. It's only something I got to do. There's a total disconnect with what you're going to get. You're getting it from Hashem. So then, as bad as you need the money and stuff, you don't work on Shabbos. But if you're not living with bitachon, and you're living with the fact that if I work hard, I'm going to make money, and if I really need it, I'll work on Shabbos also. As Shlomo Melech said in Mishlei, Chochem Yoreh, a wise man fears and turns away from the Sarmi Ra. Ukasil Misabro Beiteach, but a fool becomes enraged and is confident. So the Chochem, because of his years Hashem, he turns away from the bid. Well, the Ksil is Beiteach. He feels okay. He feels fine with what he's doing. Okay, let's stop here. We're up to number 6. It's Hashem tomorrow after the fast, but you guys will be in the middle of fast. Some of you. Bye. That's